Welcome back to the Pop Chart, a podcast discussing everything at the top of our charts in pop culture this week. My name is Ezequiel Gutierrez.
And I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Nice. Ooh, the gruff in your voice at that last one. Nailed it. I've been thinking a lot
also
about...
known as Brenden Totem.
Oh yeah, this is Brenden Totem. I've been thinking a lot about that movie recently because for those of you who don't know, it's like impossible right now for Christopher Nolan fans to see Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter because you can only with a 3-hour long runtime about Oppenheimer, they can only show it 4 times a day, and film fan it's a good and a bad problem, right? It's great that people are like absolutely showing up for this movie. Right. It's bad because you have to wait like weeks and weeks to see it, but IMAX just announced that they are basically kicking movies out that were supposed to take up the IMAX screen. So like Blue Beetle was next, and they're like, bye, we're gonna keep Oppenheimer to the end of the month. And because of the popularity of the 70 millimeter, they're talking about, some theaters are, I guess, mulling over the idea of like, hey, these 70 millimeter prints hold up really well, so we still have all this backstock of like Christopher Nolan's 70 millimeter, like Interstellar, Dunkirk, freaking The Dark Knight. I was like, I would love to go back and see The Dark Knight again in 70 millimeter because I remember doing that the first time, and it was like awe-inspiring. So yeah, good pull.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. So what are we talking about this week, Ease?
So we are here to talk mostly about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, the newest movie in theaters now. We saw it 48 hours ago, so I don't know about you, but I'm still on the high of some TMNT goodness.
Like that little arrow on our logo, you know.
Yeah, look at that. It's going up. It's trending. It's trending in our hearts right now. But before we do that, it is time again to play the game #Taglines. Explain to the people what #Taglines is.
So yeah, for regular listeners of the show, this probably goes without saying, but #Taglines is a game where we use the taglines of particular movies, usually with a theme, and we try to guess the movie by just the tagline alone. And usually when we have a theme, it makes it a little bit easier. I once again forgot to do multiple choice. So we're just going to have to go off of a theme.
So did I. Forgot that we were supposed to do that for each other.
But for this week's theme, in celebration of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I decided to make my selections have either the word teenage, mutant, ninja, or turtles in the title, so it makes it a little bit easier to guess. What is your theme for the week?
My theme is Seth Rogen, right? So Seth Rogen is responsible for the story for this one. So my theme is Seth Rogen. So he doesn't need to necessarily have appeared in it. He needs to be at least part of the creative team behind it.
Sure. Okay.
So that is my
I think you might beat me on this one this week. So why don't we start with mine so we know how many I'm going to fall short by?
Come on.
Sound good to you?
That sounds fine.
All right. Starting with the very first one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Discover the hero just beneath the surface. Discover the hero just beneath the surface.
Teenage Mutant Ninja and Turtle.
Yeah, that's right.
That's in the name of the movie?
Oh yeah.
Discover the hero.
I'll try to give you hints if you need hints, but I'll do the best I can.
It's got to be a turtle thing at that.
It's a movie from this year.
Teenage Mutant.
It's an animated movie.
Okay. I've only seen...
It's not Pixar.
What the heck?
I
haven't the slightest idea.
It's Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. The Kraken movie.
That's right.
Because like when I was trying to pick them out, I'm like, wasn't there a movie that had teenage in it that just flopped pretty hard?
Wait, that movie came out?
Yeah, it's already been out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did not. Yeah.
So
Okay.
sort
All
of
right.
on the radar there. All right.
Yeah.
Next one is it's time to face your demons. It's time to face your demons. This is a movie from 2020.
So
Though
not even that old.
though it was supposed to come out several times before that, I'll say. It was
Oh.
delayed multiple instances.
Oh wow. Dude.
It's got an actress from Game of Thrones and an actor from Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, Teenage
One of the
Mutant.
last movies released by 20th Century Fox before the purchase.
I don't have a freaking clue.
Well, it's not the X-Men, but it's the New Mutants.
New Mutants. Oh, that one. I watched it. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Mutants.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
0 for 2. Here we go.
0 for 2. We might be okay. I'm feeling all right.
Yeah, you're gonna.
My
I
Seth
think you're
Rogen
gonna.
stuff.
I think you're gonna crush mine.
Dude, I thought you were gonna crush these. Maybe
No
the
way.
multiple choice thing is what I should have
Yes,
done.
I think so.
All right. So this one is he puts the mortal back in combat. He puts the mortal back in combat. This is an older movie. It's from 1997. It's a relatively breezy 88 minutes.
Oh, nice.
And it's a comedy.
Mortal back in combat.
Yep.
I would say something about like Ninja Warrior. It's a comedy?
It's comedy starring the late Chris Farley.
Oh, Beverly Hills Ninja.
That it is. It's
Heck
Beverly
yeah.
Hills Ninja.
That's a great tagline.
Yeah, he puts the mortal back in combat. And you want to know
Nice.
something? I feel like I may have used this tagline on Best Geek Vlog ever. Because
Yeah,
I'm
how
like,
funny.
I feel like I used Beverly Hills Ninja. I don't know, for whatever reason, I keep going back.
You're drawn to some Chris Farley classics.
I love that movie so much.
I love Chris Farley. I miss him.
Boy, oh boy, can you imagine Shrek with Chris Farley?
Oh man, yeah,
Like,
it sounded so good. That test footage is just like, man,
what a
what a totally different thing.
Why is he Scottish? Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. So this next one is mysterious, dangerous, reptilious. You've never seen heroes like this. An incredibly original tagline, right? This one is from 2014. It's from Jonathan Liebsman.
Oh. Wow, I'm back.
And was released. It was released by Platinum Dunes.
Oh boy. I mean, is it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle live action?
Yeah, it's the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Gotcha.
With emphasis on the Ninja Turtles.
Right.
All right. All right.
Nice little curveball. A little curveball there.
Yeah, just a little. I think that was number 4. So you got 2 out of 4. So for 3 out of 5, I think I've got 2 choices here, and I feel like I need to go with this one. Surf's Up. Time to Save the World. Surf's Up. Time to Save the World. This is again an older movie released in 1993. Speaking of Ninja Turtles, it actually stars Ernie Reyes Jr., who, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the Turtles. Kino as well.
But Kino and is one of the Turtles, the stunt Turtles. Yep, yep.
That's right.
Surf's Up. Time to change the world.
Time to save the world. That's right.
It's either got teenage or mutant or ninja or turtles.
That's right. That's right.
No, absolutely no clues. My guess is that ninja is the one. Is it the word ninja?
It's Surf Ninjas.
That's a movie?
You're not familiar with Surf Ninjas?
I haven't the slightest idea what that is.
Oh yeah, like I said, it stars Ernie Reyes Jr. from The Secret of the Ooze. I remember the trailer for this movie playing every time I watched Secret of the Ooze on VHS. So while I maybe saw the movie once, I totally saw that trailer so much from
funny.
repeatedly watching Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. But man, like
That's some solid synergy right there.
for sure. They're
The
like
next thing.
yeah, you're watching his movie now. See the next.
Nice.
So wow, yeah, I really
Wow.
thought that I was giving you some softballs there, but I
Nope.
probably should have done the multiple choice.
I got
Sorry.
one.
You got two. You got two.
Okay, two. All right,
Yeah.
sir.
Original Ninja Turtles, and you did Beverly Hills
That's
Ninja.
right, Beverly Hills Ninja. All right, all right.
Ninja,
All right.
Ninja.
Mine is Seth Rogen movies, so either a part in the creation in the creative team or front and center as an actor.
Sure.
All right. Your first one, sir, is I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not.
I did not.
That's your.
Oh, hi,
Oh
Mark.
my god. Oh, hi,
That is
Mark.
the tagline
That
according to Letterboxd.
that's amazing, but like that sounds like the Disaster Artist.
It is the Disaster Artist. Yes, sir.
Which is him and the Franco boys doing a take on the best worst movie of all time, The Room.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. Have you seen the video from Fact Fiend about the creator of The Room, Tommy Wiseau?
I don't. It's possible there was a time there during like the early 2000s where I was far more obsessed with Tommy Wiseau than I should have been. There was a huge resurgence of fandom of The Room. He got his own YouTube show for a hot second that was exactly as great bad as you would imagine.
Yeah.
So it's possible that I've ingested most of I've interviewed him before. I was at the Sunset 5. I was at the Sunset 5 where they showed it, the once a month at midnight, and all 5 screens. I don't know if the Sunset 5 still exists anymore, but all 5 screens were there, and he was there every Saturday that they played, just being with the people. We talked to him. He was talking to people. He was he was the star that he deserves to be for one night a month.
Sure.
Thousands of people were there to see him, and so back in the day, I got a chance to be in his presence a little bit. Yeah,
sure.
Fun stuff.
Like I just remember seeing and hearing about the production of this movie and how like where did he get all the money from? And he's just like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Right. What country are you from, Tommy? Oh, this place. It's the thing.
He's been on record saying he's a vampire from Transylvania, and I believe it.
What if Johnny is vampire?
Yeah, he's a vampire. Anyways, that's the Disaster Artist.
That's the Disaster Artist. Boy,
that's
oh
the one
boy.
right there. Yep. All right, ready for your next one?
Indeed, I am.
The tagline for this movie is "Always use condiments."
Oh, I believe that is Sausage Party.
That is Sausage Party, yes, sir.
Yeah, Sausage Party, low budget animated, which you usually don't like. They don't go hand in hand, and also it's a raunchy...
low budget adult.
Yeah,
animated.
Is it ever? Yeah. The climax of that film.
Yep, that's it.
Is the climax of that film.
That should be the tagline.
That's what I should get in this business. Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think these was gonna be pretty easy because I maybe should have chosen some like
apparently
Seth Rogen.
Apparently I know more of Seth Rogen stuff than I give myself credit for, because I was like, what else do I know besides Superbad and The Boys?
Right.
Superbad and The Boys.
Oh no, here it comes. Here's another one you're definitely gonna get. This tagline is phenomenal.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm listening.
The longer you wait, the harder it gets. The longer you wait, the harder it gets.
So he has to be in it, right? Like it doesn't have to be like he made it. He could be just in it.
He could be just in it and have nothing to do with the creative process, or he could be both or one,
I mean, my gut tells me that's 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It sure is the
Okay,
40-year-old
I was like,
version.
I don't know how much he had to do with that. I know he's in it.
He's definitely in it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
that's an
this
Apatow joint.
that is an Apatow joint all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's one. We'll see. This might be a little bit tougher.
Okay, okay.
Tagline for this film: Can a great man be a good man?
That's
Can a
it.
great man be a good man?
Yeah, this one might stump me. Uh
Can give you a hint.
yeah, because I was like the only thing that's coming to mind that's like not even no, that's not even because I was like he did Pam and Tommy. He's in Pam and Tommy, but that
It
is
is
nothing.
based. It is based on a true story.
Huh.
Can a great man be a good man?
I don't think I've got a guess on this one, so I will just say Pam and Tommy because like it's the only thing that I can think of.
This one is a 2015 Danny Boyle directed film, Steve Jobs, starring Michael Fassbender. What a
He's in,
good, yeah,
he's
he
in that.
was. He is Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
he's
great role for him. I was so excited for him in that one. He
I
crushes it.
I completely like erase that from when I think of
Of
you
of
know?
yeah, your classic like Seth Rogen films, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Steve Jobs. Can't forget it,
Yeah.
That's like Jonah Hill's doing serious stuff. This is like
Right.
Seth Rogen doing his serious stuff. All right.
Yeah.
This one surprised me. I didn't realize well, I don't want to say too much. Anyways,
Okay.
here's the tagline for number 5.
Mm-hmm.
They bring you the news so you don't have to get it yourself. They bring you the news so you don't have to get it yourself. They bring you the news.
Well, see, okay. Like he appears in one of the Anchormans, and I want to say it was Anchorman 2, not the first one. I'm just gonna say Anchorman 2.
Yeah, it's Anchorman, but we're gonna give you that. It's Anchorman. It's the
It's
film's
Anchorman.
Anchorman.
It's
Yeah.
Anchorman.
Yes, sir.
All
Well
right.
done.
Thank you.
Well done. 4
Thank
out of
you.
5. You only missed Steve Jobbers.
Jabs. Yeah,
The
because I forgot
Jabs.
he was in it. I
What a
was
great
kind of
movie.
thinking like maybe you were gonna throw me a curveball like Kung Fu Panda or something because he's the voice of Mantis in that.
Seeing that, I don't like that came up and I was like, I don't have any connection to those movies at all. I honestly
That's too
forgot
bad.
that he was even in that movie.
Well, I mean, it's really more of a Jack Black thing, but and then
For
also
sure.
I think probably my favorite Rogan thing, Sausage Party is up there, but I don't really think about it as often as I think of This Is the End.
Oh,
And
sure.
like that thing is just so ridiculous and so funny. And I wish they would do another one. I saw a tweet
That's
once.
like endlessly rewatchable. That movie
Yeah,
is so much fun.
I saw a tweet once where they like it might have been Jermaine again, where he was
Sure.
just like, what movie you think deserves a sequel where maybe they can make it more like an anthology with like the same group of people like
Oh,
playing
sure.
versions of themselves but in different situations. I was like, that would be great if they did that same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
that'd be cool.
yeah, but it
Just
doesn't have to be an apocalypse.
like an Edgar Wright thing where he's using the same characters, but they're not
Yeah.
the same actors, but they're not the same characters. You could do the flip side is it's the same actors, but instead of the end of the world, it's this. Instead of
Yeah.
that, it's this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
I
pretty
would
cool.
really like that.
I would absolutely watch that.
Yeah. If
But
you're
like I left
listening,
off the ones, like the Super Bads, This Is
yeah.
40. He's been
Yeah.
in a lot of things, man.
I think he was in 50-50 as well.
50-50, Zack and Miri. Yeah.
Zack and Miri too, like might be well, actually, it's Kevin Smith trying to be Judd Apatow. But like
Right.
because I remember listening to some of the Kevin Smith stuff where he was just kind of like, yeah, Judd kind of like stole my stuff and I wanted to show him I can do it just as good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see what he was going for. But man, Rogan's had quite the career.
He
Goodness.
sure has. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Good
and
for
now
you.
his newest thing is pretty much my favorite thing he's ever been a part of. Like pretty much without question.
You mean this thing?
That one right there. That's it. That says it all. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Hey, look at that.
Oh.
I got one too. I got one too.
Like, yeah. So let's talk about it. Like,
yeah,
Ninja Turtles background, your experience. Go.
I could probably fill one whole episode talking about my connection with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, that's what this is, isn't it?
That's true. It's our damn show. So it goes way back. Of all the things, of all the intellectual properties that many of my friends and family cling to, they associate themselves most with that. For me, without question, it is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? I grew up with that. I had the bed sheets. But it was more than that. Like I wanted all the things in my face. I wanted the cartoon, I wanted the movie, I wanted the toys and all that stuff. So growing up, when the toys came out, when the what is it? Playmates toys
Yeah.
came out to promote the cartoon, which is an interesting thing. I recommend listening or watching Netflix's The Toys That Made Us. The first episode is of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, and I think that sheds a lot of light on how those toys even came to be. They were literally a marketing tool, or the
show.
The show was a marketing tool for the toys. Very, very interesting. But I grew up collecting those. Well, not collecting those. I was a kid, so I wanted to play with them. But my father, in all his wisdom, for whatever reason, thought that it would be ideal if, when I saved up to get one, or whether it was my birthday or something, we would go to like KB Toy Store, and I would get a new one, right? And then I noticed that he would get one, and so I always clocked that as a kid, where I was like, okay, he's got another one. Maybe that's a backup when I eventually break these or wear them out or lose them, and he'll just have a backup ready to go. Here you go, son.
Maybe it's a backup.
Yeah. So I remember growing up with the toys. I played with all of them. I had most of them. But I always knew somewhere there was fresh ones that hadn't been played with yet. So I remember I would like lose them, or they would break, or I'd lose the parts, and I'd be like, Dad, I know you got those somewhere. I need Donatello's bow staff. I lost it. And he was like, I literally have no idea what you're talking about. Or he would just be like, no, that's not what they're for. And I was like, what do you mean it's not what they're for? They're to be played with, right? So flash forward, my obsession with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has never waned. Even in the era of the Michael Bay produced films, I'm that person, like, you're pure like fandom person for like Star Wars or something, where yeah, I could nitpick things that I don't like about it, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that it's existing, because I just love these characters so much.
In
So
wrestling, we call you a hard mark. You're a hard mark for Ninja Turtles.
I am. I've collected, Donnie's right here behind me. I've got the NECA 1990s Secret of the Ooze guys back here. I've got the new guys are right here. So I just love this franchise so much. So flash forward to, I want to say, about my 30 or 31st birthday or something. I was just turned 30, I believe. And my dad's cleaning out the garage. He's doing a lot of work, and I had forgotten about the potentiality of these things existing. And my dad calls me and says, hey, there's a bunch of crap in the garage. I need you to come and get it. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm sure there is. I haven't lived in that house for over 2 decades or whatever. Let me go get this stuff out of their house. And he's showing me all this stuff. I'm like, trash. I'll keep that trash. Cool. Is that it? He's like, nope, there's a box over there. Open it up. And I get like emotional talking about it. In the box is everything that he put aside. When I got a toy, he pulled one off and he put it aside. And so here I am, I'm 30 years old, and everything comes flooding back to me. All of the toys that I ever had, they were sitting there unopened. And I don't know, like at the time he wasn't like a collector. He didn't know that this could potentially be something. He just did it. And I don't even know if he remembered that those were in the back of the garage.
Yeah.
But I open it and I immediately, I'm like bawling my eyes out, because I'm like, this is my childhood in a box. Yeah. How did you have the foresight to like know that I would absolutely be emotional about this? I don't know. He was just like, I don't know, dude. You liked it. I saved it. I didn't know what we were going to do with it. And here, there's like 50 of these toys now. And
Ooh.
now, as like a person who loves collecting stuff for their value, not mostly for me, it's sentimental value. I have no intention of selling any of these things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Turns out the dude went one step further from a collector's mind. He never pulled one off of the pegs. For whatever reason, he would ask, hey, do you have any in the back that haven't even been touched by people? I have half of these things, my friend, that are unpunched, mint condition, 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. I should have them. I should be showing these to you because they are phenomenal. Again, I have no intention of being like, yeah, I'm gonna cash in one of these days. No, these aren't going anywhere. These are mine. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are incredibly important to me. Donatello is my favorite character. The color purple is my favorite color because of that. So yeah, that is my thing.
Yeah.
Right? People have Star Wars, people have Harry Potter, they have Star Trek, they have Spider-Man. As I can understand people, like when I'm watching this movie, I can understand like what people felt when they're like, oh my God, it's been so many years since I've seen my favorite character on screen. It's overwhelming. It's amazing. It's like I'm sitting in that movie theater watching Mutant Mayhem and my face hurts and I don't know why it's hurting. And then I realize I'm just smiling at everything. Now I'm laughing because the movie's really funny. It's really great, but I'm just happy. I'm just happy to see these characters, and they're handled with such love and care and appreciation, because I think that, you know, Seth Rogen has that same affinity for these characters, and it's just handled so well, in the same vein that I think, like, you know, Spider-Verse is handled, with people who truly understand who these characters are and want to take care of them, you know, and that's what I felt like. That's my history with this. This is absolutely my favorite TMNT thing ever. And I have a soft spot for all of them, right? The 1990s film is like, come on. I literally was rewatching it again, and it was like, I don't care what anyone says. It doesn't hold up well. It's janky. It's corny. It's to me, it's perfect. This is right up there with it, man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think I should be clutching my souvenir popcorn tin as well, while I spend as much time gushing over it and celebrating the turtles with you, because I'm right there with you. Like, we had the lucky fortune to see this movie with both our wives, and I feel like we probably had that same conversation at a certain point where it's just like, listen, I understand this is a property that may not interest you, but it's something that's incredibly important, near and dear to my heart. And it's one of the things that, you know, through my life has brought me friends like you that I can connect with and share. Like, when you describe that situation, I can feel beat for beat, like, what that must have felt like. And if that was me, and how, you know, happy, jealous I am about it. Like,
right.
You have unpunched original in box.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you know, like, as we seem to keeps coming up on the podcast, like, life is changing. Having a child of my own, starting to, you know, look in this next phase of life, I need to provide this sort of situation for my kid. And now I know that that's a great idea that I need to do for my boy. And just again, to like stress how important it is to, like, yes, it's mass media, yes, it's consumerism because of the whole like advertisement angle of it, but like, if it meant something to you, if it connected something to you, and it helped create friendships and like joy in your life when maybe there's not a reason to be happy or joyful or, you know, like lighthearted, then that to me is ultimately putting good out there. And my God, this movie, like, so much good in it. Like you said, the characters are treated with respect. They're also like adding to the canon of
the mythos of the turtles grows, and I love it.
and like that's what I think has been great about the Turtles over the years for me. I also had a massive collection of Turtles figures, from the ones that squirt water out of their mouth to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ones that like you have covered in ooze and stuff. They
Yeah,
come with like
hell yeah.
the
I
little
remember the ooze. Yep.
and then it even extends to like the point where like, oh, I never got the turtle blimp and the turtle van. I always wanted the turtle van. Like, why? I don't want a minivan in my regular life. Why do I want a minivan in fictional toys? Like,
Right.
it's so backwards, but yet that's for whatever reason has always been the magic of the Turtles. Even learning more about their almost backwards creation, where they're
Hmm.
kind of making fun of the trends that I didn't know because I wasn't reading comics at the time, where it was sort of a satire, and then it became this whole other thing when they tried to commercialize it. And
Yeah.
that's really surprising to me, that commercialization usually means the bastardization of a
Right.
property, and yet they found something like they've made a special sauce and they just have been able to distill it every time for me, from the 90s movies all the way up until now. Brief recap then. I really enjoy the first one. Number two has got to be my favorite, even if it is potentially
You're talking about the
not.
original live
Sorry,
action.
yes, the live action, the Jim Henson of it all. The fact that those were guys in costumes, and
Yep.
you could tell me as a kid, those are guys in costumes, and I still went,
Nah.
how did they do that?
Yeah.
Like, if that's a costume, what exactly? It, no, that doesn't make any sense. It's magic,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah. Secret
100%.
of the Ooze is the high point of
Yeah.
those original three. And it's
Yeah.
interesting, Jim Henson. I've been seeing a lot of the the uh the promotional turtles of people in suits for
Mm-hmm.
this movie
Mm-hmm.
um was also created by the Henson Company. So they look great, they look cartoony because obviously the film is animated. But it's interesting to know that like the Henson Company had both like the bookends of the first one and this last one.
Most recently, yeah, for
Talented
sure.
people.
And then the one that I think doesn't get discussed quite as often because of the Michael Bay movies of it all, is the 2007 animated from Inanji. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly,
Yeah,
but that one also
solid.
just so solid, from the
Such a good
design
flick.
to like, and I didn't think I was gonna like it at the time, to be honest. I saw it was like, cool, it's a Turtles movie, but again, when they get the characterizations right and it's fun and like,
Yep.
there's references to other things that have come before, but they still add something new. That's what you always have to do with any good property, I would say.
Yeah.
And that one nailed it. This one nails it as well. I can't say enough good things about it. I think the best thing I could say, the best review I could give it, is it's just like a bottle of joy. Just go
Yes.
in there. It's just fun, right?
Yeah.
What exactly is there to criticize? It's a movie about the turtles, and they actually are a little bit more turtle like, and it's not so kid focused that you can't enjoy it as an adult.
Oh
I
no, I think this movie goes to places I was not expecting, even from the mind of Seth Rogen.
right.
And we're in 2023, and teenagers are a different, they're just different than I think we were as teenagers. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
um, so this movie does have some like right on the line jokes that you're like, oh wow, I'm surprised they let these teenagers get away with that.
Hmm.
I think there's probably things maybe you can do because it's animation or whatever, but I think this movie can appeal to the people who aren't like us, right? So
Yeah,
when we first saw the trailer, I think the first trailer we saw was in front of Spider-Verse.
I think so. Yeah, right around that time.
The same my wife, who isn't into comic books, who has no connection with Spider-Man or Ninja Turtles, right? The first time we saw Spider-Verse, she's like, that was incredible. Then we saw the new one this year, and the trailer for Turtles plays in front of it, and she I remember her turning to me and going, I will watch that in theaters with you. And I was like, whoa, because that's a big deal. She doesn't care to go to the movie theaters unless it's like a big deal. She's like, I'll watch
Right.
that with you in the theaters. And I was like, can I buy the ticket now? And this is like 8 months ago. Um,
Can you tattoo it on your wrist so I can have proof that you
yeah,
said
yeah.
this? You're
I
gonna
mean,
do this?
I need a receipt on that. So to be able to share that with her, and for her to find a tremendous amount of enjoyment out of this movie, speaks volumes that it's not just for the super fans.
Right.
Um, I was describing it to a friend at work that this is like Super Bad meets Teen Wolf, right?
Hmm.
Like it's the coming of age trying to fit in and figure out where you fit in this world is not a new thing for like these coming of age teenage movies.
Right, right,
And
right.
then you know, like Teen Wolf is a perfect example. Harry Potter's a good example of like
Mm-hmm.
mixing the teen angst of trying to figure out and fit in and figure out like what people are, you know, how you feel about what people feel about you,
Mm-hmm.
and then adding to that like, oh, I'm a wizard, oh, I turn into a werewolf. It's like that double thing where it's like now you're going to fit in even less because not only are you a weird awkward teenager, but you're also a werewolf or a wizard or you're a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
So I love like the blending of those two things together. The design in it, right? These turtles look like individuals, right?
And
uh
also, you know, not ugly to look at like the
right.
last two things that we had
Yeah, they've
of
been a
Ninja
little bit rough
Turtles.
to look at for
Oh
sure.
boy,
Yeah, it's
boy.
like we're trying to be too realistic, I think. I think Leonardo in this movie has the most classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle looks. He looks a
It
lot like
thought
the
exactly the same thing.
regular like NECA from the
Mm-hmm.
original live action. He looks the most classic. But
Mm-hmm.
then you have like Raph, he's like the body sculpt is completely different. Mike is the little tiny little dude. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's your
Mm-hmm.
cup right there. But they're
Mm-hmm.
all different. They all look totally different from one another. Um, which
And
helps. You
they
know, I
have
was
slightly different greens this time too.
yeah, the
Like,
shades are different. Like they really took the time to make sure that they were individuals, and it wasn't
mm-hmm.
the only thing that separating them was the weapons and the colors on their bandanas. They are
Mm-hmm.
clearly look different, and I think that serves the film really well because at some point, um, you see them without them on, and you know exactly who they are without the bandanas on. I think that's a huge part of the film is like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we don't have to differentiate ourselves here, like we're trying to fit in and doing that thing. And I, you know, the fact that it's set in a time where the kids are the turtles are actually teenagers,
Right.
which is like a big conceit of this movie. And I've you know listened to many interviews with Seth Rogen saying like they've never been teenagers. They've always been
Yeah.
like adults in suits or adults voicing it. So we
Yeah.
hired teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
um they're playing teenagers, and I think that just brings that for me like made the whole film right. Their voices are cracking, they're super awkward, they're saying dumb boy teenage crap
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I, you know, it's interesting as the guy who loves Donatello, like he's my guy. um I walked out of this movie with a far more appreciation for like Mikey and Raph in a way that like I didn't have before. Like, oh, of course I love all the turtles, but I was like, I walked out of being like, I want more Mikey in my life, you know, for the first time ever. You know, he's the fun, free spirited one. So they all fit their characterizations that they've had for decades and decades into
Right.
it, but in a way that feels super, super genuine because they're
Yeah.
hiring actual kids to do these voices. Um, and that just brings a level of like authenticity to the movie about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right. But I do think that I do think that you're really hitting on like the strength of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
And like you could have child actors voice adult lines, but if you write dialogue that doesn't sound authentic to their age range, then you've failed. And
Right.
that's not this movie in the least.
No, and
Um
I was we were it's funny, we were coming home and Cynthia was like, I want to watch them voice the character. I want to see how they made these things because these kids just crush it. Seth
mhm,
Rogen was talking in an interview that, you know, typically animation dialogue is recorded separately, right? Many
yeah.
people who have done dialogue, they've never even met their other people in that cast.
Mhm,
And so they, you know, they were doing that. Everyone was running their lines and doing their things. And he was like, this doesn't feel good.
mhm,
And I guess while they were doing the recording sessions, they broke for lunch, and the four actors playing the Ninja Turtles were eating together and just being teenagers. And Seth is getting craft service or whatever, and he's like, that
mhm,
everything that they're saying, they were doing the joke that apparently ends up making it into the film. They're making fun of New Yorkers, you
mhm.
know, the bacon egg and cheese and da 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 and how you doing. And so he
Yeah.
said they have to do their sessions together, like there's no way around this, we have to do this together. So that's where I think you get a lot of that like genuine, this is the genuine article, man. Like these kids
Yeah.
absolutely are perfect in the role. The writing is super strong. They get to just be themselves a little bit more when you're putting these folks all together in a room. But yeah, film
I mean,
is so good.
I think like the only thing that I have as a criticism is there was maybe one too many jokes about milking for my taste. I was like, rule of threes, guys, not rule of
Right.
sixes. You said this. It was funny the first time. It's funny the third time.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you're
you're doing it. You're
there's
doing
like
it
milking
again.
a lot. Yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's the teenage aspect of it where I'm just like, all right, okay, I might be getting a
Too
little on
old.
in my years. This is
Yeah,
a little long of the tooth. It's not meant for me.
yeah.
Milking is funny.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is it's so interesting. They're really, we find the turtles not able to go outside. The film opens on like this mission. Okay, guys, we're using our stealth and our cunning and our tech to do grocery shopping without people knowing who
Mm-hmm,
they were. That was a
mm-hmm,
really fun spin on the thing. You're meeting April O'Neil, who, luckily for them, is the first human that they meet who isn't immediately terrified by their by their appearance. They've been raised by Splinter, who's like, you cannot go outside at all. So they've
mm-hmm,
already got all those things stacked against them, right? They're
mm-hmm.
teenagers in the world. They're mutant ninja turtles. They've got a dad who's like, humans are terrible. You can't be with them. And then the first one they meet is like, that's so terrible. Like, how are we sort of figuring this out? So new creature designs. I mean, we were talking about the toys a little bit earlier. I remember one of my favorite toys was my Ray Fillet toy,
Mm-hmm.
who, when underwater, his colors changed. So we've got all the classics are here, right? Ray Fillet, Mondo Gecko, Bebop and Rocksteady.
Leatherhead.
Yeah, man. I mean, but our main villain is a brand new creation, and I think you hit on that. But like, we do want to keep growing it a little bit more, right? The
Mm-hmm,
mythos has
mm-hmm,
to give us something a little bit different, and it would
mm-hmm.
have been very easy for them to just be like, it's Shredder, always Shredder,
Right,
Shredder,
right.
Shredder.
Mm-hmm,
But I like that they didn't do that,
right.
and they said, well, let's do something different. Let's give you maybe a different origin, but that still stays true to the canon of the turtles. And so they could have easily just been like, boom, we're gonna just shoot our shot and that's it. But I think they knew, hey, we know what we've got here. We're gonna
Yeah,
probably do this again.
yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there and hope that that's the payoff at the end, which is what people really want to see, is Turtles and Shredder.
Mm-hmm.
And let's set these guys up a little bit more first before we drop that on you.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
can't wait for that.
Mm-hmm. I think that one of the things that we talked about after the movie ourselves too was like, it's just nice that a franchise like this has such longevity that like new kids can get into it, and as a consequence old kids like us can still have the stuff that we love, and I
Yeah.
think that that's wonderful. Not every franchise gets chance like this to take a bite at the apple multiple, or what, maybe a bite of the pizza as many times
Yes.
as the
Well
turtles
said.
have. But
There's a lot
like,
of slices, and they're not all the most delicious,
nope, they're
but
not.
it's still, at the end of the day, it's still pizza, man, and pizza still rocks,
Yeah,
you
this is
know?
still good. Yeah, and I think maybe the only thing I forgot to mention is that like, on top of the shows, I've had such connection to the Turtles video games over the years, and there's a ton of really quality and bad ones too. Video games that are really near and dear to my heart in the arcade experience, like what I have back here.
Yeah.
Like, so much of it is turtle focused. There's a shot in the movie where it really seems like they are referencing those action beat 'em ups, if you
Mm-hmm.
will,
Yeah.
right? And I just love that they celebrate all aspects of the turtles, including one of my favorites, which is all the video games. Which, by the way, slight tangent, did you see that they're going to be in Street Fighter 6? Because they are.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, brand
Nice.
new from Evo. They're going to
Here,
be in Street Fighter 6.
here's what I'll say. I'm currently playing Shredder's Revenge
Revenge. Yeah, Shredder's
on the
Revenge.
Switch, which is,
Hmm.
for anyone who's ever played the original ones or Turtles in Time, it's that just in 2023, and it's phenomenal. Now I'm ready for the Turtles to get the Spider-Man, Batman video game treatment.
Mhm.
Like that free world, tap into the next turtle. I need a free roaming thing just like the Spider-Man PS5 games, but set to the Ninja Turtles. Like I'll be happy with that. Like, come on, guys, make it happen. Maybe
Make it
like in this
happen.
animated style. Like it doesn't have to be live action, but like give us this world, right? Created from this movie. Put the Spider-Man skin, put the turtle skins on the Spider-Man character, and let's do this thing, man.
Let's do it.
Just an immersive thing like that. Yeah, I'm a happy turtle fan, and even beyond that, I'm a happy movie fan right now because
what a year.
it's just a good solid flick. It's got tons of heart. It looks incredible, even though they're trying to make it purposefully not look incredible and polished like animated films before, right? You look at this versus like, as much as I didn't care for Super Mario Brothers movie, it is insane to look at. It is so beautiful. And then you look at this and it's just a different kind of beautiful, right? It's a little ugly, it's a little disjointed, but I think it just serves the story so well. So
it matches them. Yeah.
It just does. Yeah. So glad I lived to see this movie. It's like just make it to August, man.
Gotta watch my health, gotta take care of myself. And
this was the one, and this was the one for me for the year. Like, yes, so many, the Mission Impossible, the beginning of the end for one of my arguably favorite franchises currently right now. You've got Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2, hopefully coming out later this year. A new Christopher Nolan movie, Spider-Verse #2. It's just like, God, this year was just stacked. And I was like, and this one was just the sitting atop by itself. I was like, we get a new Ninja Turtle movies. The last one that we had, Out of the Shadows, was fine. Let's see what you got. And then you see that trailer and you're just like, yeah, this is gonna be freaking amazing. And it was. So happy it absolutely exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, so I guess what we're saying is go see it.
Yes, turtle fan or not, I think this is just a great film. If you've got kids, take them. I think your mileage may vary on kind of where it gets a little maybe dicey in some things. I don't think you're gonna need to really worry about that so much, but I am super fortunate to have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I'm like, hey nephews, you guys interested in seeing Ninja Turtles? No, you haven't? No? Yeah. Listen, I'll take you if you want to go see it. So I'm about to make phone calls to my sisters being like, hey, I'll take them. Don't worry about it. It'll give you.
It's really hot
an
outside. I'll make sure that they're nice, someplace air conditioned and cool.
Yeah. Hey, listen, take an hour and a half. Just hang out. I'll take the boys off your hands for you. I'll take all the kids off your hands for you.
That's fantastic.
We're gonna see how many times I can go and see this movie.
All right, we'll start taking side bets on like our non-existent pop chart Discord.
That's right. That's right. How many times is a pop chart going to see Mutant Mayhem?
10.
That'd be something. If only there was time for that.
Exactly.
So that's it. I mean, that's our episode.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, everyone, as always. In next week's episode, or in the coming week's episode, we're going to be hopefully talking about Oppenheimer and the catalog of Christopher Nolan in total. We got some other irons in the fire and potentially guests, like Easy always says. And
it's like I'm always like, oh nope, that didn't work out. That didn't work out. Yeah,
so it'll happen.
We'll do some Chris Nolan stuff. We're gonna revisit some old TV shows that we've talked about many years in the past on our old shows. So we're gonna revisit some fun stuff. So yeah, thank you for listening and watching and joining us on the Pop Chart. Don't forget, you can listen to all back episodes on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, right here on YouTube. Go check it out.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next week.